Hello students, welcome back to your English class. I hope you all are fit and fine and staying at home. Today we are moving forward with our second unit test syllabus. Today we will discuss the chapter 12, Puss in Boots. Before explaining the chapter and going into the details of the chapter, let us know about the author. So, Puss in Boots, the author's name is Charles Perrault, 1628 to 1703. So he was born on 12th January 1628 and died 16th May 1703. He was a French author, poet and storyteller. He was a member of Académie Française. He laid the foundations for a new literary genre, the fairy tale for children, well-known tales, Little Red Riding Hood, Puss in Boots, The Sleeping Beauty, Bluebeard, and Hop O' My Thumb. So students, let us now go into the details of the story, Puss in Boots. There was once a miller who had 3 sons and just 3 possessions: his grinding mill, his ass and his cat. When the possessions were divided between the 3 sons, the eldest son inherited the mill, the second son got the ass, and the youngest got the cat. Now it was equally divided. The inheritances were equally divided between the 3 sons. The young fellow was quite disappointed with his fate or his share. Why? Because he thought that his share was not worthy. My brothers, he thought, may earn their livelihood easily because they could use the mill and the ass to earn their livelihood. What am I going to do with the cat? I can scarcely feed myself. Then how will I be able to feed the cat? The cat was called Puss. He went up to his master and assured him of his good fortune with a solemn air. That is, he was very much confident about the good fortune of his master. So the tale opens with the third and the youngest son of the miller receiving his inheritance, that is a cat. At first, the youngest son laments as the eldest brother gains the mill and the middle brother gets the ass. The feline is no ordinary cat, however, but one who requests and receives a pair of boots. So students, we are coming to the next part of the chapter. Now, don't grieve so much, my good master. Just give me a bag and a pair of boots, and you shall see that your portion of the inheritance is not as bad as you assume. Now here the cat assures that the master will get his good fortunes very soon. Puss's master did not pay much attention to this because he didn't have much faith on Puss. He had often seen him perform tricks to catch rats, mice, pretending to be dead or hiding himself in a sack of grain. So he thought that maybe Puss will play again such a prank and will catch either either rats or something like that. He had no doubt that he meant to do some such trick just to cheer him up. Well, Puss, here are your boots and bag. You may go and do as you please, he said, anxious to see Puss fend for himself. Now he gave the boots and the bag to Puss and told that do whatever you want to do, but do it on your own. Puss owed his boots very gallantly. He put some carrots and grain into the bag and slung it around his neck, holding the strings in his forepaws. Now he managed everything. He then went into a warren where there were many rabbit families. There he lay down and pretended to be dead, waiting for some young inquisitive rabbit to come rummaging in his bag. So that he was waiting so that he could catch a rabbit and then he will execute his next plan. So according to his plans, he continued his work. Soon a rash of young rabbit jumped into the bag and Puss immediately, drawing the strings close, captured it. As was expected, he captured a rabbit. Proud of his prey, he set off for the king's palace. Now he set off or started his journey for the king's palace. On his way, Puss thought hard about what he should name his master, because obviously a very catchy sort of a name is required to impress the noble king. When he reached the palace, he asked to speak with his majesty. He was shown into the king's grand parlor. Puss bowed low before the king and presented the rabbit. Now he offered the rabbit as a present from his master. Now what was the name of his master? I have brought you, your highness, a rabbit of the warren, which my noble lord, the Marquis of Carabas, has commanded me to present to your majesty. Now the king or the majesty was quite impressed with this gesture. He didn't know about who was the Marquis of Carabas, where did he live, but he was quite impressed with the gift. Tell your master that I am well pleased with his gift, said the king. Puss was pleased as the punch with his success. Now, the first step to success he has already achieved. In the same manner, he caught partridges, fowl, and other birds and went making a present of these to the highness, that is the king, as he had done before with the rabbit. Now slowly the king was getting impressed on this Marquis of Carabas, and obviously his inquisitiveness was increasing. The king received the presents with great pleasure and ordered that some money be given to Puss for his journey back. Puss continued carrying gifts for his majesty from his master for the next 6 months. That means he took quite a lot of time to impress the highness and bring him in favor to the Marquis of Carabas and the existence of the Marquis of Carabas. And they always came with the same message from my lord Marquis of Carabas. Everyone at the palace became curious about the strange nobleman whom no one had ever seen, but who sent regular presents to his majesty. Now, this Marquis of Carabas, he was not seen ever, but the presents were very much worthy for the king, and slowly the king got interested on this particular character, that is the Marquis of Carabas. Puss became a frequent visitor to the palace, and obviously he started regularly going to the palace and came to know the king's routine, got very much accustomed to the king's routine, his whereabouts, where did he go, when did he go, all these things. One day, when Puss knew for certain that the king was to take a walk along the riverside with his daughter, the most beautiful princess in the world, he said to his master, This is the golden chance for you. Now just follow my advice and your fortune will be made. That is, we will nail our fortune together. Come quickly and get into the river where I show you. Leave the rest to me. I'll handle everything. You just open your clothes and just get into the river. The youngest brother did as Puss advised him. Now he just followed Puss's words. A little later, the king passed by the river and Puss began to cry out. Now he yelled and cried. What did he yell? Help, help, my Lord Marquis of Carabas is going to be drowned. Hearing the noise, the king looked out of the coach window. Obviously, the yelling got into the ears of the king and he looked at the direction. He was surprised to see the Puss who had so often brought him such good game, that is gifts. He commanded his guards to immediately assist the Marquis of Carabas because he had prior sent so many beautiful gifts to the king. As they were drawing him out of the river, Puss told the king that while his master was washing, there came by some rogues who had stole his clothes, though he had cried out, thieves, thieves, several times. Now, what is happening here? The feline is no ordinary cat, however, but one who requests and receives a pair of boots from the youngest son. Determined to make his master's fortune, that is, the cat was very much determined to make his master's fortune, the cat bags a rabbit in the warren and presents to the king as a gift from his master, the fictional Marquis of Carabas. Obviously, this is a fictitious character which Puss has framed. So, the cat continues making gifts of game to the king for several months, for which he is rewarded. One day, the king decides to take a drive along with his daughter. Now, the cat persuades his master to remove his clothes and enter the river which their carriage passes. That is when their carriage passes. The cat disposes of his master's clothing. As the royal coach nears, the cat begins calling for help in great distress. That is, he just yells for assistance. The cat tells him that his master, the Marquis, has been bathing in the river and robbed of his clothing. So, students, we have today explained half of the chapter. I hope the explanation was quite clear to you. I have made a detailed explanation line by line of the chapter and then given a summary as well. So go through the chapter and then listen to the explanation so that you can get a clear picture of the story. That's all for today, students. We will meet in the next class. Stay safe and bye-bye.